12:02 a.m. and I'm tracking. Appreciate y'all. Let's go.
All right, people, shit's getting real.
Alright, it's almost midnight on Saturday, September 12th, 2020, and I'm about to go hiking. 62 miles today, day one. Let's go. Leaving the monument. Appreciate y'all. Let's take a hike. I went on to do 63 miles on the first day from the monument to Rainy Pass and put myself in a pretty good position to have a sizable lead on the average for the record. Alright, it's 6:30 in the morning. I'm about 22 miles in. 8 miles from Hart's Pass. I'm about to hit some downhills, but I'll still have another 2,000 foot climb today. I got really tired right before sunrise. Sunrise in the Cascades. Gotten a second wind. Feeling a little better. I'm going 60 miles to Rainy Pass. My goal was to definitely at least do 50s, and it was harder in the front, and that it would ease up, and I'd be able to make even more of it towards the end. I should be there, shit, I don't know, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., something like that. Be out of food by the time I get there, so kind of have to make it. But I made it to Hart's Pass. It's like 9:20. I got here about 10 minutes ago. Cooking some noodles and hitting the road. 31 miles in, 32 to go. Not even 9:30 in the morning. I will be to Rainy Pass by 7 p.m. It's going good. About to do a 63 mile day. 49 tomorrow. Appreciate y'all. .47 miles into day one. It is 2 p.m. and I'm making excellent time. I don't know that I'll do 63 every day, but this gets me to food and beer and Coca-Cola and steaks, and 13 miles ahead of the average record. 4 p.m. I am just about 52 miles in. Just made it to Mathau Pass. I have 11 miles to go. I am 2 miles ahead of the record, or the average for the record. I've got about 3 or 4 more miles until the top of the next climb, but that was a 2,000 foot climb over 7 miles just now. It's going to be pretty chill. One more small up, and then the rest just down to the cache. So it's been a good day, feeling all right, all things considered, and out here taking this record. All right, just up to the top of the last climb, 7 miles to go. Is it like 5 o'clock? About 55.5 miles in. It's 6:40. Just made it to Rainy Pass Trailhead. Crossing the street. I cached a little bit further up. So I got like a mile and a half to the cache. 62 miles in right now. $7 a.m. I'm about halfway down an 18-mile descent to Stehekin, and then I'll have 18-mile up, and then it's like 13 down for 50. So you can see a lot of smoke. It was 46.5 miles on the second day. And I was dealing with issues like my stomach bothering me, you know, just caloric intake versus hydration. Stomach's been weird, so I was just trying to give my body some sort of recovery day for whatever that is and try to get to sleep extra early. Slept like shit. I got a hole in my air pad, so slow leak woke me up about every 30 minutes after midnight. So I got going about an hour early, which I guess is a good thing. Doing an easy 50 today. Made it to Stehekin. It's like 9:40 in the morning. Like 17.5 miles in. Just gonna drop some garbage. I need as many snacks as possible. All right, leaving Stehekin. 33 more miles. A little bit before 10 a.m. Just chilling, 17-mile climb, and the rest downhill. So I'll just go hard up the hill and run my ass down. An incredible amount of smoke popped up after Stehekin. I knew there was one around fire around Lake Chelan, but there was this Downey Creek fire that had popped up, and they closed access to the PCT. I didn't realize any of this would happen, but I did realize that it seemed like I was incredibly close to a wildfire. My body's been feeling weird. Hitting the top of this climb, I was feeling good until I didn't. So I stopped to eat, and now I'm walking and eating. I'm just about over Cloudy Pass. It's like 5 p.m., 2.5 hours. I'm like 37 miles in. Had a real rough moment earlier where I bonked real hard, thought I was dehydrated. I had to stop and cook some steak and bounce myself back for the last 3 miles up the climb. But it worked. And now I am 12 miles from 50. It's all downhill, just that 20-mile uphill took it out of me with the heavy carry, leaving rainy, but also doing 63 yesterday probably has something to do with it. But the good news is that my legs really feel good. I just didn't stop and have a good lunch, but my pack is gonna be lighter tomorrow, and I think at the worst, I get into camp around 8 o'clock. The amount of smoke that I was inhaling was definitely frightful, and so in that situation, being that remote, one of the most remote parts of the trail, the only thing I could do is keep going. So, but I ended up camping at some point, like 46.5 miles into day 2 before Glacier Peak, and it was my lowest mileage day I would have out there. And the next day I did 48.5 out of Glacier Peak Wilderness. It's 7:40, about 12 miles in. Just got to the top of this climb. Got to go down and do another big one. But the smoke was terrible this morning. I had to wet my buff over my face just to do something. But not good. Just trying to get out of that. Did 46.5 yesterday. Trying to at least do 50. We got a lot of climbing to get out of the Glacier Peak Wilderness and get closer to Stevens Pass today. So just trying to stay lucid, stay motivated, stay driven. So far so good. It feels good to be back at the top of a climb. Like 23 miles in to day 3, past Glacier Peak, getting up over this second giant climb. I've got another 7-mile climb after an 8-mile downhill after this, and yeah, just trying to balance the food and everything to get into Stevens and yeah, not mess this up. So far so good. The smoke is cleared a little bit, but you can see it's still tons of smoke everywhere. It is 3 o'clock. I am 33 miles in. And it started to rain less than an hour ago, which is good. It's not raining so much that I'm losing my shit, but hopefully raining enough to put some of these fires out, and the smoke's gotten a lot better. So that is good. Going through like the super green lush area of forest. Lots of mushrooms and stuff growing all over the trees. It's beautiful. We got 5 miles up this climb. I'll be at 38 miles at the top, and then probably like a 3 or 4 mile down, and then an up. One more little up, or half the up that I'm doing right now, and from there we'll be down to 50 miles. But I'm considering just hiking kind of a little bit into the night tonight, just to make it a shorter day into Stevens and to make up that 3.5 miles that I missed last night. Kind of running out of food, and now I'm feeling good. I don't know, check back in a few hours. Like I said yesterday, felt good until I didn't, so for now, it's good. Thinking about just stopping when it gets dark and boiling some water and then eating my last meal on the go. And that way I feel better about my food supply going into Stevens. And I'll get ahead and have time to resupply and also get ahead. All right, it's 4:30 p.m. 37 miles in. I got a mile and a half to the top of this climb. Got a few more hours to hike in the daylight. And feel pretty good about hitting 50. If not, it's all good. I just got a second wind up the climb. Getting low on food in the sense of what's for today and what's for tomorrow. So might have to I'm gonna keep hiking tonight. I'm probably gonna hike until it doesn't make sense anymore. And yeah, try to catch up. That's 3.5 from yesterday, and who knows, maybe do more. All right, I'm 45.5 miles in. Just exited Glacier Peak Wilderness, and that was gnarly. Lots of blowdown, lots of just crawling and tripping and climbing, but it's over now, and hopefully the trail chills out a bit till Stevens. So I'm just gonna hike into the dark and pass out. Day 3 almost over. Appreciate y'all. Still ahead of the record. All right, day 4. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I am 8 miles in. It rained on me last night. It started around midnight. I thought it was gonna be my first good night of sleep. I was gonna go over 50 and make up some miles, but I saw a lake and decided to try to fix my air pad, and stopped and was able to find the hole in the pad and patch it. I realized that the valve was leaking as well. And it rained all night and into the morning when I started hiking around 3:30. So yesterday I was walking through smoke and fires, hardly able to breathe. Around 4 a.m. yesterday, the smoke was very thick, like scary levels of thick. And today I'm hiking through cold rain. All the plants are covered in water, so my legs are soaking wet, and I got cobwebs all over my face. It's all good. It's part of it. Taking it in stride. I've only almost broken my ankle twice. Sun's coming up, and I got 20 miles to Stevens Pass. I get some food and do another 22. I'm about 15 miles in. The rain continues. This is the Washington that I know and love. Just hiking cold through the rain. But I got like 14 more. I'm almost to the top of the second to last climb for the first part of my day to get to my resupply. And coming up on Grizzly Peak. And yeah, all things considered, things are going spectacular. So, I think I've got enough food to make it in, and soaking wet. Stay tuned. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if it's still there. Fuck yes. Food. 5:37 on day 4. I'm 41 miles in. Got 4 more miles of climbing, or till the top of the last climb, and then 5 miles down, and then I'm going to camp. Resupply, got out, spent almost 2 hours at Stevens Pass, and got everything done. Hoping to get a good night's sleep tonight. But that's it. Doing all right. All right, I'm doing. Appreciate you.
Welcome to my crib. So, found this soft grass to lay on. Got here and it immediately started raining, so I got everything set up just in time. Got emergency tarps and shit, and hopefully this works out, but it's about time for me to just go to sleep. Just wanted to show y'all what the situation is. Got 50 miles in, day 4. Checking the weather, trying to figure out if this is going to be the way it's going to be for all night or what the deal is. Anyway, bike crushing it. Appreciate y'all.
Alright, I'm like 22 miles in, almost up to the top of the first fat climb. And I got like 10 miles downhill, and then 1 more fat climb, 10 miles on top of it, and then 10 miles down that in the Snoqualmie. It's been pretty rough, especially with sleep, but I hit 50 miles last night. Was able to set up camp right before it started raining. Still ahead of the record, and my body late in the days or at the top of some of these climbs has been feeling pretty crazy, so sometimes it gets scary, but yeah, it's holding together, and looking forward to getting today over with and getting down to the other side of this thing towards the Columbia River. Alright, I'm 30 miles in to day 5 and about to start the last climb of the day. 6.7 up the main big one, and then just like 4 or 5 more bumps after that, and then downhill to Snoqualmie Pass. So almost there, doing all right, 1 step at a time. Getting wet. Miles in, got 10 more miles to go to Snoqualmie Pass. Where I stand right now is tied with the average for the record. Again, day 5, just staying 11 miles ahead of the record. Hopefully tomorrow that changes, so I can get way up ahead of it. 2 more bumps and then 7 or 8 miles downhill. Just a lot of scrutiny. I'm 8 miles into day 6 south of Snoqualmie. I got a few rolling downs, but mostly up for the next 55 miles, and then that's over the hill for this whole thing. So the goal today is to get 55 out all the way up to the top, and then start heading down from there, and start increasing mileage for the last several days of this. But yeah, my resupply was weird because I felt like I didn't have the real food I needed, just snacks. But also now I'm holding food in my hand because this shit's just too heavy to have in my backpack. So I really don't know what is going on, but I just need to start eating everything so that I can move fast up this hill and get this over with. Going down in the dark, I did 51 yesterday. In the Snoqualmie, and that last 5 miles, I think I fell more than the previous 255. Cut my elbow pretty bad, got hematoma on my forearm, and it's alright, just pretty frustrated, just moving too fast in the dark, trying to get it over with. But it was good. I looked at my Strava, it looked like I was averaging like 16-minute miles over 50 miles. So all in all, the latest start of this trip yesterday, I started at 5 a.m. but got a lot done at a good pace with several fat climbs. So I don't think there's maybe one more 2,000 or 3,000 foot climb in this whole thing. I mean, I guess I'll probably climb 3,000 today over 55 miles. So minus that, one more a couple days from now. There's some rain coming up, so I'm just gonna try to watch that and really stay ahead of it, or at least be hiking before it starts. It says 5 a.m., but that's for the Snoqualmie area, which I will be about 55 miles away from by that time. So I'm just gonna rerun a weather report whenever I get closer. But yeah, trying to finish midday on Sunday, and looking forward to that. Just being done, laying down, having a real night of sleep, and also going home and seeing my family and my friends. I miss everybody. I haven't been to New Orleans since March. It's been a very long journey to get to this point. I'm looking forward to getting this record and getting home. Put everything into this, so it's cool to see it pay off. To my friends and family, thank you for everything. I can't wait to see you again and tell y'all's love and support. This wouldn't be possible. You guys pulled me through this shit, and I thank you. Alright, just passed a hunter out here. About 15 miles in, like 9:30 in the morning. Just started getting a wave of just complete exhaustion. Just trying to power through it, keep this thing going. But I've gone through different periods of feeling things like in my body, my organs. They're just like, some of it's from pushing way too hard, and some of it's from just being tired. So I'm just trying to balance everything and keep going. But I've been holding the food bag in my hand all day, so I just stopped and ate some of the food and tried to cut down as much weight as I could on it. And I think it helped. And I put the bag back in to my pack and get it out of my hand. So I think that's helped a lot too. We'll see, but I can't take naps. I gotta get this 50 in. I really want to get 55. So this is the hard part. Your body says you want to sleep, and you just gotta talk yourself out of it. Keep going. So I've slowed my pace down, and I'm just hiking. Just out here for a hike. Alright, I'm 28 miles in. Since like 15, where I was feeling tired, I bounced back. So just figured that I've come way too far to let it all get fucked up by one little nap. So I was gonna have to power through everything, and now I'm much more motivated after I learned a lot of news from other hikers going north about fires. And there's a lot of fires like the Downey Creek that popped up while I was on trail. That was very, very close to me, but they closed main access to the PCT because of that. And the terminology that they use on the website to describe some of the other fires makes me feel better about some of the ones around Mount Adams. But I had some people who turned around near White Pass, which is where I'm 70 miles away from right now. And I'll be like 40 miles away from it by the end of today. So just trying to get through there, but they've basically closed the highway, so they couldn't get access to resupply. But my food is buried there, so I don't need to go into a town. I just need to get through it. And there's a 50 to 80% chance of rain tomorrow morning, starting at like 5 a.m., depending on like what report you hear. Yeah, I think I'm getting really lucky. When I started, there were no fire closures on the Washington BCT, and now there's 5 listed. Or at least 5 fires burning next to the PCT. So just getting some food and having a little lunch, M&Ms. I'm getting back on the road. No time to sleep today. Alright, 47 miles in from Snoqualmie, and made it to the Ulrich cabin. It's weird not seeing any thru hikers here, but back to the woods. Today's going alright. I don't know if I'm late or tired or what, but I went up a fat climb. I've been climbing all day, so hopefully tomorrow's all downhill and we'll crush it. Alright, it's 7:30. 13 miles in. 5 miles from Chinook Pass. I'm feeling great. I got 6 hours of sleep last night. Did a 52-mile day. Up from Snoqualmie. Was just mostly just a climb up all day, with just a few descents, and a heavy resupply for my second longest carry of 100 miles to White Pass. But the bag's lighter, and instead of pushing through the night, I decided to just go to sleep early. I got to sleep by 9 o'clock, woke up at 3, and did a little running. Kind of hard late in the afternoon. My right ankle and stuff is like feeling a little worked, but I'm just trying to treat it well today, even though I got a feeling there'll be a lot of downhill, so a lot of running coming up. I was just hoping that it stays together and I can stay healthy. Hopefully find a cold river, soak it in, take some ibuprofen, keep stretching it, and done a lot of miles with this ankle, so it's nothing that it's not used to. Just hoping that we can bend and not break on this, and take this home for like the last 175 miles or so that I've got left. So other things going on are fires. Found out that Downey Creek fire just popped up as I was on the trail. White Pass, which was closed and I had to go around just to bury the resupply before I started this as I moved closer to the trail. And people on the trail have been asking just to keep informed on the situation, just hoping that the trail stays open so I can pass it, but really that it's safe enough to pass, because Downey Creek was definitely something that I passed, but it definitely wasn't safe as far as levels of smoke inhalation. I mean, you can see smoke out in the distance here, and this is nothing compared to what I've gone through. And I just hope that it's like, even if it's not a fire on the trail, it could still be quite scary and dangerous to hike through smoke. So just hoping that it works out. There's a chance of rain this afternoon. As much as I hate hiking through the rain, if it helps keep the trail open for me to get through, then bring it on. Gonna try to get a pretty big day here today, like 60-70 miles. I've been about 10 to 15 miles ahead of the record every day as far as the average goes, but really want to make some distance and complete my goal of finishing on Sunday during the daylight in less than 9 days. So that's it. Stay tuned. 5 miles from Chinook Pass, and yeah, I'm feeling it. Feeling beat up, but feeling driven still every day, and looking forward to taking it home. 18 miles in, 9 a.m. day 7 at Chinook Pass. I was coming in from Snoqualmie into White Pass, and it was just trying to communicate with people to figure out if the pass was open and if I was going to get through. I was very nervous about having done all this work and gone so far, and to be stopped by fires would have been frustrating. So I was doing everything I could. I mean, it was helping me stay on pace for the record, but also just to get ahead of fires. I knew there was a chance of rain on Tuesday, which would eventually happen, but I made it. That was a really good day. I think I was like, I was at like 46 miles to the White Pass cache by 4 p.m. So I was doing really well, and that was when I was planning on hiking a 70 that day. And this is kind of, I guess, the turning point of the whole journey, where like I quit doing 50s, because I came out here to not just barely break the record, but to smash the record. If I'm gonna spend all the time doing it, I don't want to take somebody's record away from them by just beating something by an hour. I want to really crush it, but in order to do that, I knew at some point the 50s had to stop, and so White Pass is when that happened. All right, it's like 3:20 right now, and 42 miles in. Got a 4 mile downhill to the cache, and then I'm climbing till midnight. The last 5 miles into White Pass, the rain hit. Looks like that's gonna be sent in the rain, maybe all of it. Cracker Barrel is open, which I was so grateful for, because it gave me some time to get out of the rain and dry out. I was kind of demoralized at that point, having to have everything that I had soaking wet and still have 20 more miles, or even like trying to do the resupply with the cache. I definitely started shivering, but I was able to get into the Cracker Barrel and have some hot food and try some stuff out. I could grab my sleeping bag in the dryer, and started hiking out Well, I got rough there for a second after I picked up that cache. I got really cold. I was soaking wet. But I made it to that Cracker Barrel like a half mile down the street and ate a bunch of food and was able to dry my sleeping bag and stuff and decided to push on, and really all took like an hour or so. I've done so many miles today that it's all good. I'll probably still hit 70 miles tonight. And started looking at weather reports. It looked like it was going to be relatively clear, and I had Goat Rock coming up next, and that it turned into quite the night. I went over Goat Rocks in the middle of the night. I probably was on top of Goat Rocks at midnight that night, and the rain hadn't quite completely left, so I was still in a dark, cloudy mist of rain going up Goat Rocks. At this point, my phone still worked, thank God, because I had a couple navigational issues going up Goat Rocks where just making sure that I was on trail. It's kind of difficult in the dark. All right, I'm out here hiking Goat Rocks before midnight. The last 5 miles of a 70-mile day on day 7. It's pitch black. I'm in a cloud, spraying rain. Just trying to get up and over this. Taking over. But there was definitely, certainly the most precarious part of this entire journey when, after I got over the climb going southbound on Goat Rocks and started descending, still on top of the ridge, and I ran into a patch of snow. And I don't hike with poles. Definitely didn't bring an ice axe or micro spikes. And at about 12:30 a.m., I had to use my pocket knife as an ice axe and a self-arrest tool to traverse probably like maybe 50 feet of snow. But it was old snow covered in fresh rain. And the situation was very scary and could have easily killed me. And very grateful that I made it through that. Well, I never want to do that again. I got through it, but I just had to use a pocket knife to self-arrest while I traversed old snow covered in new rain. Fuck. After that, there were some moments where I was still on the ridge. I lost the trail, started going down a ridge. That wasn't the trail. I got turned around. All very scary. You can't see more than 20 feet ahead of you. You're just like into a misty black abyss. And eventually turned around, found the trail, had another snowfield that kind of threw me off for a second. But I made it 71.5 miles, I think, that night. And that felt good. And it was raining or drizzling whenever I decided to set up camp before Sis was fast. And I look back at that as a mistake. I felt good at that point, just from the adrenaline from the Goat Rock experience, that I could have kept hiking that night, and I probably should have. But instead, I decided to make camp and set up a shelter with one of my emergency blankets and a line of rope, and that didn't work out, and I ended up maybe sleeping an hour or two and like having everything soaking wet. And then that started what would be my last day, or definitely last time sleeping on trail, where I had made the decision that if it was going to rain like this, I wasn't going to sleep anyway, and I just need to hike and take this record. And I was, at that point, had done pretty well to have had the days that I had with enough time to go to sleep, 6 to 7 hours of sleep, doing 50 to, even on the low point, 46 to 52 miles, was good. But I was getting to the point in the attempt where sleep was something secondary to why I was out here in the first place. And I was so far along that I felt comfortable foregoing sleep for the remainder of the journey. to ensure that I got the record. So that's what I elected to do, and whenever I left that morning at Sisyphus Pass, all my stuff was soaking wet, and I think I had 45 miles to go to get to the cache at Trout Lake, which was the primary goal, and then it was 84 miles to the finish from there, and all of that would be done in one push. So day 8, 8.5 was really one blurry, dreamy day where I would say it rained on me consistently for about 24 hours. Whenever I left camp before Sisyphus Pass, probably 0.3 into that, I fell immediately into a waterfall, and I took that as a sign of how that day was going to go, but I was determined to make it go my way too, in that I was going to get to the cache and to this bridge in record time. Going towards Mount Adam was a long downhill through the woods, which is nice. It was just all soaking wet. I got pretty used to being cold and wet for like the next 24 to 36 hours, and just kept going. And thankfully, it at least stopped raining for a moment by the time I did get to the cache, so I could dry out. I was very nervous about stopping and having to deal with the caches. Like when I was at White Pass and I stopped and had to deal with it, it got very cold very fast, and I was able to kind of dry myself out, and I cached some of the gear that I knew I would need since I wasn't going to be camping back at Trout Lake, and used the stove to try to dry some stuff out and cook some food and left the stove behind, and then continued on. I was probably around 55 miles by the time sunset. All right, just leaving the cache at Trout Lake. It's been a pretty crazy past 24 hours. Hit me pretty hard. Started with getting rained on at White Pass, and then last night going up Goat Rocks. Definitely got into a hairy situation crossing a patch of snow that I didn't expect, and had to use my pocket knife as an ice axe and self-arrest tool, and then kind of got turned around. Actually, right before that happened, my headlamp went dim because the battery died right before I hit the snow. So it was hard visibility even in high beam on the headlamp, just because of all of the fog from the rain that was misting all night last night. But it didn't help. So after that, I got a little turned around and went too far onto a ridge that wasn't a trail, still on Goat Rocks. Found my way back, then kind of got turned around on another patch of snow that was less sketchy but still annoying and time consuming. But I got 70 miles in and then had a pretty terrible night camping. What I thought was going to be a good night with the shelter that I had made out of my emergency blankets turned out to be just dreadful, and everything was soaking wet. I think it was like 0.3 into today's hike. I tripped and fell into a pretty big waterfall on the trail, by like Sisyphus Pass, I think. And so all in all, a rough start, and then it continued to rain on me all day. Another reason why I haven't filmed or documented any of today. Just my phone broke, lost the phone, so I didn't want to lose this camera too. So I kept it zipped up, but it's 6 o'clock, it quit raining at 5. I've been soaking wet all day. I just cached some extra weight back at Trout Lake, including the stove. that I sat next to for a minute, just trying to dry my jackets and stuff. I thought about leaving my puffy in my sleeping bag because I don't plan on sleeping tonight. I'm gonna go straight to Cascade Locks as the plan, but I brought it just in case. Whatever happens, it's good to have like an emergency shelter. So I got the bivvy in the bag and my puffy drying on my body right now, but some things are drier, pack is lighter. I'm going to go get FKT. Appreciate y'all. 125 miles today. Let's go. I mean, it continued to mist on me all night long, and sometime around 3 to 4 a.m. I was about 50 miles from the finish, and I took a break to eat some food and kind of the breezeway of a privy before I had to start making the rest of the descent down towards Cascade Locks, and just really ate some food and collected myself and prepared for a very large 50-mile push. Alright, it's 3:48 in the morning on day 9 now. I walked all day yesterday and into the night, and I'm 80 miles in right now, starting at 6 a.m. yesterday. So it hasn't been a full 24 hours yet, but pretty exhausted. I got 47 miles to go, and I'm just eating some food for a second, and I'm gonna get back after it. But hopefully I'll just keep walking, get in a good groove, and be okay once the sun comes out, and maybe get more energy or feel drained. But I think either way, I've got the record. I just need to show up. But I've been pushing pretty hard, just trying to get there by noon. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why it matters. But also, I'm gonna sleep really good after this. Who knows? I might not even make it before I fall asleep. I'm about to fall asleep on camera right now. But it's been a great journey. It's been a lot of fun. Some weird moments hiking through last night or tonight. Just weird being alone with my thoughts, especially no cell phone, so I can't like even zone out with music or anything. But yeah, trying to just get warm and chill out for at least a few minutes before I get back on it. But I got this. And that last 50 miles was very motivated. I mean, I was running uphill a lot. I haven't looked at the data from it yet, but definitely some of my fastest running for the entire attempt was done yesterday and the day before. I look at that as one day. It was, I think, all in all, 50 miles in 30 or 33 hours or something like that. It was what I would call a long day. But yeah, running uphill, I was probably doing 12-minute mile pace up every single hill. I think it really took it out of me by the time I got closer to the Columbia River. There's a point. All right, it's 6:30, and the sun's starting to poke through the trees. So far I've run 8 miles since that last update when I started at 50 or 48. So 40 miles to go to Cascade Locks, and not trying to think too much about it, but I expect to be there early afternoon. I'm just gonna try to enjoy this run downhill and this FKT. So that's it. Just a little schwacky and wet leaves, and yeah, it's oh shit. Looking forward to the sun coming up so that this shit can get a little easier. Running like 12-minute miles. Be there. Oh my god. Fuck. I guess this is part of it. Fuck. As badly as I can and want to run 6 or 7 minute miles down this mountain, I haven't slept. And I'm 93 miles in right now. So this is definitely uncharted territory. I've had big days, but none this big. That's also for 25 hours and 46 minutes. You know, there's a few hour breaks in there too. Just let the watch roll. But yeah, what I'm getting at is that it's probably wise to just kind of relax and do this. I think right now I'm running 5 miles an hour, and that'll put me there, I don't know, around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I'm okay with that. It's gonna be just over 8.5 days for the new record, as long as I get down there safely. And I think somebody's gonna have a hard time beating that. So I feel good about that. And right now I just, you know, I just want to maintain some respect for my body and what I've put it through, and get down safely to Cascade Locks and the Bridge of the Gods, and go have a hiker trash burger and a beer, and at some point pass the fuck out. You know, my lungs feel rough, my back feels rough. I can't tell if it's from being up or hiking, or, you know, honestly it's probably from all of it. So just trying to be careful and be smart and get through the rest of this. If somebody's gonna beat this record, good luck to them. You know, I hope you have better conditions than I did, because this is the first time that it hasn't rained on me in 48 hours. Last couple days of this were super gnarly. First water in like 15 miles. Pretty stoked. The real water sources. My Sawyer pissed me off the other night, so I didn't bring it on the trip. Also, this is the only bottle I have left. Playing a new game for this last marathon, where everything gets run, even the uphills. Last marathon in Washington. .145, and I'm about to make this descent down into Cascade Locks and the Bridge of the Gods. I was doing good running like 5 to 6 miles an hour up most of those switchbacks in that last 50, and then I definitely hit a wall. And my feet, they were just so ready. Definitely had some shin splints in my left leg. I was running, just trying to get down early and make it really hard to break this thing. And I haven't slowed down too much, but I did have to start hiking and quit running. Alright, I'm on the switchback, going down. I've never been so excited to be done hiking before or just wrecked. Also, I've been hallucinating for like the last 3 hours. I haven't seen really a soul on the trail. I saw somebody coming up this Multnomah one, but there haven't really been anyone. But I kept seeing people that weren't there, and I don't know. It's time to stop hiking and take a break. I hallucinated for probably half the day yesterday. I didn't see any hikers or anything. But I was definitely hallucinating. You know, I was trying to hike fast, so lower the time. I don't fucking care anymore. Where the trail winds you through this beautiful section going up before it descends down the Cascade Lock. But just a lush green area. And it just winds and climbs. And I ran every single one of the climbs. Every single one of them. And then my body started really kind of shutting down. Time 6:33. Oh man. Made it. 6:33. It was a 150-mile run. I've never done that before. I don't know if I want to do that again. That was fucking painful. I'm not walking normal. I guess that's an FKT. I underestimated how crazy it was at the end of Cascade Lock, or going into the Bridge of the Gods on the Washington side. I felt like I was running in circles for like 30 minutes. And I was running like 6:45, 7:45 pace. Washington's the real fucking deal. It's nice to be done. I'm gonna go put this fucking pack down and take my socks and shoes off. My poor feet are so fucked up. They're so fucked up. My left is the strongest because my right had surgery. And it's fucked up. What I learned is that it's not fucking over until you're really across the bridge.